but it's something that's worth practicing, even if you already know how to do it. You basically definitely want to know how to do it. It's one of the most valuable skills you can learn. Todd right now, more or less, just trying to buy time for his expansion. And Shy, being the typical night elf user that he is, excuse me, is right-clicking on Todd's Archmage whenever he gets a chance. Intelligence heroes versus heroes like the Demon Hunter, which have an insane amount of HP, are insanely difficult to kill, have insanely high starting armor. Yeah, it's really easy for them to just right-click on your Archmage. So you always want to be really aware of exactly where your Archmage is in relation to the DH. Like, as you can see right now, Todd putting his foots between himself and the DH. This positioning is very important, especially at tier 1. If your foots aren't between you and the DH, then the DH is basically going to get free hits on you. He's going to run up past your foots, hit you twice, mana burn you, run away. And he's just going to keep doing that until... He's just going to keep doing that thing where he mana burns you twice and runs away. Until the cows come home, and if your foots aren't in the right place, you're just not going to be able to. Like right here, Todd sort of messed up, I would say, in his positioning, or Shy outplayed him slightly. Essentially what happened was his foots were too far to the left, and Shy just ran through. The main thing to notice what Todd's doing right now is he basically knows he's not going to be able to kill any archers, but he's banking on the fact that he's not going to lose more than maybe a foot. Like if he loses a foot, it won't be the end of the world, but ideally he doesn't want to lose anything. But he wants to use all that moon juice, because you know, if you think about it, if you're going to be doing any sort of strat where you beat the night elf out by if you think about beating the night elf, especially the DH, if you get the DH to low HP, he can run to his base. He has like 5 extra lives in his base. It doesn't matter how much low HP you get to him. But if you do an early harass like this, where it's going to be daytime relatively soon, and the Moonwells don't have any sort of special upgrades, not regenerating particularly quickly, if you think about it, what he's doing right now is he's preemptively weakening the Night Elf player for a later push. Which is something that's very intelligent. I often do things like this versus Night Elf, but then again, don't take my word for what I do versus Night Elf. The Shy played this very well. He got a Naga and then intercepted and got some free footman kills. The moment he gets those footmen out of his base, he starts his Ancient of Lores. Getting Ancient of Lores up versus human can be a very tricky task. It isn't the world's easiest thing. Right now, if you notice, Todd is sort of baiting Shy into trying to go after weak foots, and then essentially just slashing at the DH while he is, going after these weak footmen and then trying to get surrounds by tricking him. Todd doesn't make very many towers versus Night Elf. I think if he was versus DR, he'd make 2 arcanes, or like he'd get like extra arcanes up, or something of that nature. If you look at something Todd did, I thought was kind of interesting. He put up a farm in the upper left portion of the map, because Night Elves can build a Tree of Life in that little spot. In this case, Shy built it on the other side, so it really didn't do Todd too much good. But I will say that that is a very interesting tactic by Todd. Being that, as of now, if the Shy were to start an expo up there, Todd would know about it and be able to cancel it. Or actually couldn't even start an expo because there wouldn't be room for Shy to. Now Shy just sort of harassing the human. Now the human only has 1 hero versus Shy's 2. It becomes very difficult for Todd to really be able to do anything in the way of getting an advantage. However, with defending foots, it does become slightly easier. It's just very difficult not to lose a large number of footmen. He does force a TP, which I thought was very interesting. Sort of a silly way to have the TP, but he makes it all alive, and that's that. Todd made, interestingly enough, Todd's strategy is sort of revealed at this point. He made a 2nd barracks. It's sort of interesting. At the end of the day, when we were seeing a Night Elf was going to expand like this, Todd pretty much knew he expanded, by the way, without even scouting it. He already knew what happened. Look at the army size of Shy comparatively to Todd's, and you'll notice that it's very interesting how Excuse me. It's very interesting how Shy had such a few amount of archers, and those few archers they didn't build are they're just units that led Todd to believe that Shy had expanded. If you'll notice, there's no moon juice left at Shy's base. Why do you think that is? From the early harass. So I thought it was very interesting how Todd's harass is paying off for him. He's not even pushing at the main net of base, but it's very hard for the DH to get up to full HP, simply based on the fact that he can't really get up to full HP unless he has moon juice to do it. That's sort of Night Elf's lifeline. So by sucking away all the extra lives their heroes and units get, you can very simply make it so any tier 2 push you do is significantly stronger, which is why in the sky push one of the most valuable things you can do is, one of the most valuable things you can do in a sky push is pushing a tier 1 for Moonwell juice. If we look at what's happening right now, Shy just ran in and focused Todd's heroes. Not much Todd can do about it, honestly. That's life. Todd's towers were about to go up if we would have lasted out maybe another 30, maybe another like 15 seconds past where he lost his Naga. If he didn't lose either of his heroes, his push would have been a lot more successful. But his position was a little wonky because his units were in this straight sort of line. They weren't in like a dividing line between Todd and Shy. So Shy was able to run right past and kill Todd's heroes, or at least force them to the town portal. Right now, Shy knows the onslaught isn't over. Reversing any human player, if you didn't really do anything but make them TP and they still have a massive army advantage over you, they're just gonna push you again. Especially Night Elves, you guys should know that Dryads and DH Naga doesn't beat Mass Rifle, and it never will. So, one of the main things that Todd's doing is just sort of getting this huge army advantage he's getting from his expo. I always thought of expos a lot differently than most people. I think of expos as an immediate advantage and not an advantage over time. If you think about it, you immediately have more resources than them. Once your expo is going, you're going to have more resources that you're going to be able to spend on more units. And if that's the case, then you could probably make really effective pushes relatively easily on the Night Elves. So now we sort of have like this, not really a final battle, but it's a game deciding battle for sure. Shy